Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the National Family Health Survey 5. So NFHS is the new survey which has come into picture now, and for your mains examination especially, this is a good data source to quote in your answer. So you have to read the National Family Health Survey from that perspective as well, that you will be able to quote that whenever you are answering questions regarding various health indicators in India and various other social indicators as well. So this video is going to be very important so that you could pick out on the data as well. Apart from that, in the prelims examination, also in the two statement kind of a question or in a statement and multiple statements and answer type of a question, again these values could be provided. So let's start this lecture and try to understand what is the National Family Health Survey is and what are the latest findings in the fifth stream of the National Family Health Service. So let's start. Recently, the first phase of the National Family Health Survey 5, or we will be referring it as NFHS 5, 2019-2020 has been released by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So this is the context. NFHS is a large-scale, multi-round survey conducted in a representative sample of households throughout India. So just see over here, it is about the family health, and that's the survey which is concluded in the multiple rounds, as well as it has the feature of the representative samples of household. So this is what your NFHS is. All NFHS has been conducted under the stewardship of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So this is the ministry in the Government of India which actually take care, or under whose aegis the NFHS is conducted. And then there is an institution which is the International Institute for Population Sciences, or IIPS Mumbai, which serve as the nodal agency for conducting the NFHS. So this is your outline for how the NFHS is conducted by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, plus your IIPS which is located in Mumbai. Established in 1956 under the joint sponsorship of Sri Darobji Tata Trust, Government of India and UN. So this IIPS is actually has been formed as part of the Tata Trust, Government of India has effort, as well as the funding from the UN as well, and it has established itself as a premier institute for training and research in population studies for developing countries like Asia and Pacific region. So since the time of its inception, IIPS has now established itself as a body which has become pioneer in conducting the health and related surveys. So this is something you could remember, that NFHS is conducted by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and the institute which work as a nodal agency is your IIPS. Phase 2 of the survey covering remaining state was delayed due to COVID-19 pandemic, and its results are expected to made available in May 2021. So just for an information, NFHS 5 is not complete yet, because phase 2, which was supposed to be presented now, has been delayed because we all know that the lockdown happened and the pandemic is still rampant. So it is like logistically as well as practically on ground bit difficult to reach out to the household and conduct the survey. So the idea is the phase 2, which have the data for all the states, would be presented maybe in the May 2021. So that's the idea. Right now the phase 1 details have been made public. So this is the present context, and this is going to be important. Whatever they have been figured out, you are going to utilize that while writing your mains answer. So let's start. So NFHS 5 captured data during the 2014 to 19. So this is the period it has been considering, or this is the period in which it has measured the various indicators, and its content is similar to the NHFS 4, which was released in 2015 and 16. So again, the indicators which were mentioned there in NFHS 4 is similar what is being mentioned in the fifth version also. to allow comparison over time and also mark a shift from it. So this is what the survey and the data is all about, that you will be able to see the shift. So in your examination, when you are writing mains answer, try to also make a relative stand, like in the 2015 what the survey talk about, then what it is talking about in 2019. So these all things will be important for you while you are presenting your answer. It provides an indicator for tracking 30 sustainable development goal that the country aims to achieve by 2030. So this is again a very important information, that this survey align itself to check on whether India is on track to achieve its SDG goal or not. So if you know which of the agency or which of the body in India is supposed to steward the overall system of the sustainable development goal, drop a comment in the comment section. So that is, there is a body in India which is taking care of the SDG goal, and this particular survey will try to capture the data in such a way that it could be made possible to see whether India is on track to achieve its 2030 goals under SDG or not. However, NFHS 5 includes some new topics. So even though almost same NFHS 4 and NFHS 5 is going to be same, but there are few new topics which has been included in the fifth version of it, such as preschool education, disability, access to toilet facility, death registration, bathing practices during menstruation, and methods and reasons for abortion. So these are the few topics which the fourth version of it did not have the data about, but the fifth version tried to capture the data. In 2019, for the first time, NFHS 5 saw details on the percentage of women and men who have ever used the internet. So this is also an important factor, that this time the National Family Health Survey also considering the internet, because we can understand the kind of impact the internet has on the life of the people at present and the digitization which is going on across the world. It is important that that particular indicator is also captured. So this is the outline, or this is the high level detail about the survey. Now let's go ahead and figure out the findings. So several states across the country have reversed course and recorded worsening level of child nutrition despite improvement in sanitation and better access to fuel and drinking water. Now this is how the trend is going to be. So when you are making your graph in NFHS 4, if you are making a graph like this where the x-axis is NFHS 4 and NFHS 5, and on the y-axis you have child malnutrition, you will see that the level has actually decreased. So this is how you're going to represent the data in your examination. So what has been observed, that as far as NFHS 4 is concerned, almost all these states have actually reversed the trend. The latest data captures the state of health in the states before the pandemic. So now this is also an important point, that the effect of COVID-19 is not captured in this particular data. But if you go by all the other reports, all the other data, in fact I have already made a video in which the state of the poverty which has been released by the World Bank. Again, the idea is that because of the lockdown imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic, the nutrition level is going to decrease across the world. So even though we are already facing the worsening, COVID-19 data capture could even point towards a more bleak situation. Several states have either witnessed meager improvement or sustained reversal on 4 key metrics of child under 5 year of malnutrition parameter. So we will talk about these malnutrition parameter. These 4 key metrics are child stunting, child wasting, share of children underweight, and child mortality rate. So these are the 4 factors in which the NFHS 5 has tried to capture the child malnutrition. And most importantly, the thing for you to remember over here, that most of the states have actually not fared very well. The data from these metrics is used in several global indices such as the Global Hunger Index. We know that the Global Hunger Index in 2020 placed India at a very abysmal position. So we can understand that the child malnutrition has become a problem. It wasn't very good in even in NFHS considered, but the fact that we have reversed the improvement is even worse. So now let's try to see these parameters one by one. So child stunting, the most surprising reversal have happened in child stunting, which reflects chronic undernutrition and refers to the percentage of children who have low height for their age. So stunting in general sense, what does it mean? It means that as compared to your age, your height is less. So whatever be the should be your height, like for an example, for a 4-year kid, if the height should be around 3 feet, you are still less than that. So that is how the stunting is measured, that according to your age your height is less. So that is the major thing, which is again one of the parameter used to determine the child malnutrition, as this particular thing talks about the chronic undernutrition, which means they have never got a nutrition full diet. Stunting, more than any factor, is likely to have long-lasting adverse effect on the cognitive and physical development of a child. This is also a thing that if the child is not growing in height according to its age, there could be direct implication on the development of his cognitive skill as well as the physical strength. So these are important, like throughout, if the malnutrition trend keeps on happening, as an adult the child would never be able to reach his full potential. Telangana, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra and West Bengal saw increased level of child stunting. So in these states, which you can consider are more on a developed side, even there has been increase of the cases of child stunting, which is an harrowing finding. These reversal in child stunting are hugely troubling, as normally stunting level do not increase because all the things that affect child growth tend to improve as stable democracies and economies move ahead. So as the trajectory of a country, when you are moving towards a better economic state, more stable political system, these parameters should improve and should not have been decreasing. So this is troubling from the perspective of the policymakers also. Next topic is the child wasting, another parameter which is used to measure the child malnutrition. It reflects acute undernutrition and refers to child having low weight for their height. So in compared to their height, if their weight is less, then this particular thing is called wasting. India has always had a high level of child wasting. So we have seen in even in photographs, you must have seen that even the child looks so thin, so lean, and that's the phenomena what is known as the child wasting. Instead of reducing it, Telangana, Kerala, Bihar, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir witness an increase, and Maharashtra and West Bengal have been stagnant. So again, we are not making many headways in terms of improving the malnutrition, like improving the nutrition of child and decreasing the instances of malnutrition. Next is the child mortality rate, another parameter which is measured. So infant mortality rate, which is the number of deaths per 1,000 live births. So how many newborns are born for every like 1,000 live birth, how many of them has died is what is known as the infant mortality rate. And under 5 mortality rate data is mostly stagnant. So basically we have not made much improvement in mortality rate or even the under 5 mortality rate, and it has more or less become the stagnant. Between NFHS 3 and NFHS 4, there was progress on mortality reduction, but NFHS 5 and NFHS 4 are about 5 years apart. Still there is very little progress in many states. So again, if you see the relation over here, that there has not been much improvement made on the mortality rate reduction as well. In Maharashtra, the under 5 mortality rate is basically the same in NFHS 4, and in Bihar it reduced by just 3% over 5 years. So basically Bihar did mark the reduction in the child mortality rate, but the reduction percentage is less. Over 60% of child mortality is explained by child malnutrition, which is the central problem and need to be addressed. In fact, we must be also aware that these are the years where the flagship scheme of Poshan Abhiyan was going on. So there is a portion Abhiyan which talk about providing the nutritional intake or improving the nutritional intake of the children, young adults, young girls as well as the pregnant women. And over there also, even after that, we are not seeing much improvement in the child malnutrition sector. So these are the basic details that you need to know from your examination point of view. This is something you could quote while writing about the healthcare sector, while talking about the how India could utilize its demographic dividend. So all these basic questions which has been asked in UPSC over a period of time, these data could help you to supplement or substantiate your answer. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.